Hello and welcome. My name is Queen Bee, and I run two major groups that have to deal with adult nursing relationships and milkmaids. We are nursing females or female identified persons who enjoy the art of lactation, but not for infants or children. Most of our partners are our husbands or our boyfriends or other individuals within our particular community who enjoy the art of suckling and milk production. I have a slideshow presentation called Lactation 101 that basically shows you all of the different ways that you can achieve lactation, how to suckle, and different techniques that we use. And this channel is going to be set up just for that purpose, to educate. Not for perving, not just to see some boobies, but to educate people on how to do lactation. We have groups all over the country that do this. We're not just a very minuscule group of people who like to suck each other's milk, as most people are led to believe. This is a nurturing act. It's usually between two people who care about each other or nurture each other, just the same as you would a mother and a child. So I'm going to go ahead and start my presentation on how to get started with lactation, how to continue it, and the do's and the do nots. So stick around, I'll be right back. Hello and welcome to Lactation 101. I'm your presenter, Queen Bee, and I'm also the proprietor of chocolatemiLkQueenBee.com. So if you have any questions or need to get this information that I'm presenting today, feel free to look me up on my website. So let's get started. First of all, what is lactation? Lactation is basically the medical term for yielding of milk by the mammary glands, which leads to breastfeeding. In fetish terms, or in the BDSM world, it's adult nursing or adult breastfeeding. Now, there's a lot of myths regarding lactation. Some people think, oh, I've never been pregnant or had a baby before, so I can't lactate. Well, that's absolutely not true. A lot of people have lactated by the use of medications or some of the tips that I'm going to show you here. And I've also known either trans females or men who have actually lactated. So it is very possible for anyone. Another myth is, hey, my kids are older. I can't get my boobs to milk anymore. Well, guess what? The factory's there. You just have to get it up and running again. Another myth is that I'm too old to lactate again. That's not true either. I've known people well into their 50s or 60s who are lactating just for the fetish of it. And finally, oh, I don't have a partner, so I can't start lactating. That's not true either. You can lactate just using a breast pump or hand expressing. So let's get started. First, we need to prepare our breasts to produce milk. By expressing your breast for 10 to 15 minutes on each breast, several times a day, you're working those mammary glands to get them ready to start filling up with milk. If you massage the breast using the demonstration on the right, that's basically waking up those glands as well. Or you can do the marmot technique, which is listed below, to push the milk towards from the chest wall, roll out to the outer wall, out through the nipple, and that will help stimulate your breasts as well. Or finally, you could use a breast pump to manipulate the breast into thinking that someone is drinking that milk. There are lots of medications and galactagogues out there that will help you with your lactation journey. First and foremost is domperidone. Domperidone was actually a medication used for nausea and vomiting to settle an upset stomach. It's no longer FDA approved because men started leaking milk out and colostrum out of their breast. So, as a result, the only way to get domperidone is to purchase it outside of the United States. There are currently several different companies who ship that to the United States, but they have to be very careful because it is illegal to ship that in from outside the U.S. There are side effects with domperidone, including heart issues and diarrhea, Some have known to have anal leakage. So if you find that you have any of these side effects, it is recommended that you drop your dose or stop it immediately. Over-the-counter remedies, if you've already had a baby, this kind of wakes it back up but doesn't do the full effect of domperidone. But you can use fenugreek, milk thistle, goat's rue, or fennel. Once you get it going, these can help increase your milk production. But again, if you've had a baby already and you want to try it naturally to start out with, these are the way to go. Now we need to get to the art of suckling. Suckling is basically what a baby does to draw that milk out of the mother's breast. They use their tongue to squeeze the breast up to the roof of their mouth. They place the tongue an inch or more behind the nipple, not directly on the nipple. As you can see from the demonstration up above, when a baby just grabs the nipple, it shows a very poor attachment and they're unable to get the milk to come out. But in the second block, as you can tell, the baby has more of the nipple in his mouth and is using the hard and soft palates of his mouth to work that milk to come out the nipple. The tongue should do a rolling action to coax your milks to move toward the nipple. Then create a suction in your mouth to move the milk to the end of the nipple. Tips on suckling. On average, suckle or pump your breast about 10 to 15 minutes per breast, at least 3 to 4 times a day. This mimics you feeding a baby and get your breast to thinking that there's somebody who needs that milk. And don't be disappointed if you don't get suckling right away. If you're someone who is suckling from someone, it does take different techniques to try to get the milk out. So if you're the one being suckled, have just a little bit of patience. Speaking of patience, it takes about 5 to 6 months sometimes just to produce milk, so don't be discouraged if you don't produce it right away. Try different positions when nursing. If you have a partner, sometimes if you straddle your partner and let gravity take hold, they might get milk out a little better that way. Some people can get the milk out by lying down side by side or facing each other, and that works for them too. So try different positions if your partner's not getting the milk out. And trust me, you will get sore and you will get tired. Both of you will. So again, patience is a virtue if you want to reap this reward. There are certain disclosures involved with adult nursing. Be careful and mindful that certain drugs and medications can pass through the breast milk. Also be aware that your partner's medical conditions and medications will also affect your lactation journey. If your partner has a medical condition and you're taking medication, it might counteract that medical condition. Breast milk is also a blood-borne pathogen and can transmit diseases including Hep and HIV. So be very mindful and aware that you know your partner. Taking care of your breast is very paramount when it comes to lactation. Your nipples will get sore while you're inducing. Basically, the whole induction process is someone dry nursing you and pulling that milk, even though there's none there yet, but they have to mimic that action to get your body used to it. So sometimes the nipples may crack or bleed while inducing if there's an improper latch or your pump isn't catching your areola correctly. If that happens, apply lanolin or coconut oil to sore nipples. That will give it its elasticity back and get it back to working again. Make sure that any oil you use on your nipple is vegetable based. Do not use baby oil or Vaseline. They will clog your nipples and you'll end up with an issue there. Ice packs can help relieve the pain of sore nipples. And it's also very important to wear a good supportive bra while you're in the nursing or lactation process. Generally, your breast will gain an extra cup size and possibly even 2 cup sizes. So make sure your bras are very good and supportive. Protect those mammary glands. If you're into BDSM play and you're used to your partner slapping on your breast or beating your breast with objects, it is not recommended for lactating partners. Mammograms can also bruise and damage your mammary glands as well as breast play and torture. Basically, if it leaves a bruise, it can damage your milk glands. So if you're on this journey, you need to be very careful of everything that was listed above. Mastitis. Mastitis is the worst. Mastitis occurs when your milk ducts get clogged up for one reason or another. If you're using improper lotions or oils on your skin, it could be the natural oils of your skin clogging the ducts, or if you're not expressing the milk out like you should, the milk gets backed up and clogs up the ducts. If this happens, nurse, nurse, nurse. I guarantee you it will hurt like hell. I've had it happen to me 3 times. But you need to get those clogged ducts emptied, so do whatever you can to get that milk out. Applying warm compresses works very well. If you stand in the hot shower, or my personal trick, wet a rag, stick it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. It's going to come out pretty hot. When it gets to the point you can stand it, then apply it to your breast or sore nipples. Massage it out. If you work from the shoulder to nipple and armpit to nipple, you got to make sure you don't forget these areas, simply because the mammary glands can go all the way up to your shoulder or all the way back towards your back. So make sure when you massage, you start all the way back and rub it forward. Take ibuprofen. It does reduce the swelling and helps alleviate some of that pain. And even though it's an old wives' tale, trust me, it works. Apply cabbage leaves to your engorged boobs. When you're lactating, you have to maintain your diet, especially if someone else is going to be drinking that milk. About 50% of the milk coming out is made up of water, so make sure you drink lots of water. Also maintain your protein, your calcium and dairy, your folates, green leafy veggies, vitamin C, and vitamin A. There may be occasions that you will have to stop lactating. It could be surgery, it could be the fact that you don't have a partner anymore, or maybe you just lost interest. The way to do this is to slowly cut back on your pumping sessions or your suckling sessions, or just express enough to relieve the pressure. If you drop one pumping session every few days, your body starts to realize that nobody's drinking that milk anymore, and it will eventually go away. Peppermint is known to help decrease your milk supply, as well as Sudafed or any product with pseudoephedrine in it. That concludes my slideshow. Again, if you would like a copy of the slideshow or you have any questions, feel free to visit me on my website at chocolatemilkqueenbee.com.